People from all over. Oh, Nina, I'm not giving up my Sunday. This is fun for me. Welcome, everyone. Hi. Welcome to From Isolation to Enlightenment. I got this tarot card that I think describes a lot of people's feelings quite well. Can you see that? Isolation. Ooh. Anyone feeling that way a little bit? Maybe need to melt some of the ice off. Maybe we'll do some of that work today. If this is your first time to one of my meditations, welcome. If you're a frequent visitor, then you know what you're in for. Buckle up. We're gonna start with some jokes, because that's where I like to start. So today I've got some quarantine jokes. If you think loneliness is unbearable, then just spend some time thinking about your first marriage. I like that one. Ouch, too close to home for some of you. Let's see, another one. I need to practice social distancing from the refrigerator. I'm guilty of that. All right, one more. Still haven't decided where to go for Easter, the living room or the bedroom. All right, that one's outdated, but it's still good. Okay, let's do one more. This morning I saw a neighbor talking to her cat. It was obvious that she thought her cat understood her. I came into my house, told my dog what happened, and we laughed a lot. Right? I don't know how that one came out, so let me end on a better note. My body has absorbed so much soap and disinfectant lately that when I pee, it cleans the toilet. All right, let me unmute everyone just for a moment. Everyone say hi, so I know I'm not alone. Say hi.
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 Hi. Hi. David.
Holly.
Oh, I got kisses.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome, everyone.
How are you?
Oh, you're shy. You're red.
Oh, good. I'm always in front of this random bookshelf, just hiding everyone in meditation. Here we go. All right, I'm going to meet you all. Honey, shut up. I'm meditating. David's starting. Leave me alone. God. Oh, quarantine. Yeah, but this tarot card, if you just came in, isolation, I think it's pretty relevant for a lot of people. I've shared this story once or twice, but when I was in college, a professor of mine drew a horizontal line across the board on the chalkboard, and on one side he wrote suicide, and on the other side he wrote enlightenment. And he said that most of us oscillate from one to the other. Suicide being, I don't want to be here. This is totally unbearable. And enlightenment being the total acceptance of being present, being here, being okay with whatever is in front of me. And I really liked that description and that image. It stuck with me ever since college. And I went to go meditate with him. He taught Zen. He was teaching an Eastern religions class, but outside of school he taught Zen meditation. And I remember sitting with him the first time, being super blissed out and peaceful. It's like, oh, I love this. And then I came back at the end of the semester and I sat and meditated again. My back hurt, my head hurt. I was uncomfortable, felt awkward. I didn't like it. And I remember, I just remember going up to him and being like, hey, what happened? I was such a good meditator at the beginning of the semester. And he looked at me and he's like, are you stressed out? And I was like, no, I don't get stressed out. And then he was like, oh, when are your finals? And I was like, I'm in the middle of my finals. He goes, they're not stressing you out? Just by him asking, I realized, oh yeah, actually they are stressing. I am stressed out. I've been in denial of being stressed out, and it showed in my meditation. And at the time, what I didn't understand was that I thought that was a problem. So I'm stressed out. I had a bad meditation. Bad, David. I will do better in the future when I'm sitting perfectly still and peaceful. What I didn't get at the time was that I could have looked at that stress in meditation and used it as an opportunity rather than just seeing it as a roadblock. At the time, I saw it as a roadblock, that being stressed or anxious or isolated or lonely or whatever it is a roadblock. It's punishment. And it always brings me back to the story of the Buddha, because when he started teaching, what did he say to everyone? He said, life has a lot of suffering in it. Would you like to know how to come out of it? And a lot of people's ears perked up and were like, yeah, I feel stressed, or I feel lonely, or I feel stuck, or I feel depressed. How do I come out of this? And that was the beginning of his teaching, and what in Buddhism they would call the Four Noble Truths. So whatever you're quote unquote suffering from or hurting from, it might be an opportunity for you to kind of take yourself to the next level of consciousness and start to transcend whatever's been weighing you down. So we already know what's weighing you down. You already probably know what's weighing you down. And if you like, even while I talk right now, just as I'm starting, if you want to write, in the box or in a journal or in your notes on your computer, anywhere you want, you could just take a minute and just write out what is weighing you down. So you could start with, I feel this energy that is weighing me down. And then just describe it a little bit. Give it some form. What is weighing you down? For a lot of people in the world right now, isolation is weighing them down, and they see it as an impediment, as a problem, rather than seeing the silver lining that may be there for them. It's funny. I've met so many people who, when they found out that I lived in India or slept in a cave or lived in an ashram, they always say, "God, I wish I could just do that. I wish I could leave my job and just go sit in a cave or go sit and meditate for a while where nobody would bother me." And then life is like, here, you can sit at home for a month or two, and everyone goes, "No, don't leave me alone with my thoughts. No." And that could be intense, right? For a lot of us. Now, of course, that might not be your situation. So if you lost somebody from the virus or you're sick yourself, then you're dealing with more than just isolation, obviously. And I think if that's the case for you, everyone in this group, our hearts go out to you, and we could all just send some healing energy towards anybody in here that has lost somebody or is sick. Actually, let's see. There was someone, a loss of a relationship because of the virus. Yeah, that can happen too. Ooh, some dark energy, some blocks. Yeah, there's a lot there. So how is it that the thing that makes me feel shitty is the thing that's going to help me find my enlightenment? That's a great question to ask. I think that's a great question to start with today. How is the thing that's weighing me down, making me feel like crap, making me believe I'm not good enough or stuck or life has no direction? How is that thing going to help me find my awakening? I heard Eckhart Tolle talk about loneliness once, and it was really beautiful. And he said, when you get through loneliness, you find solitude. I absolutely love that. When you get through loneliness, you find solitude, and there's a difference between the two. Or if, or when you get through loneliness, you find aloneness. And so in meditation, when our eyes are closed, we are alone. We are in solitude. There's no doubt about that. But for a lot of us, whatever the weight is, it might not be loneliness, but whatever that psychic weight is, it's like we feel it, And then we go, I don't want to experience that. That hurts. I don't like it. David, take it away. How much can I pay you to just take it away? But if we could just stay with it anyway and sit with it, it'll start teaching us something. And we realize that that pain and suffering are not actually the same thing. Suffering is when we are in resistance to pain. And growth is when we decide we're going to learn from pain. I'll just say that one more time. Suffering is when we're in resistance to pain, and growth is when we decide we're going to learn from the pain. So most pain that you experience is not life-threatening. It's not going to end you in any way. The vast majority of pain you experience is temporary. It fluctuates as an emotion, as a sequence of thoughts. It comes and it goes. And usually when it comes, we go, whoa, back up. And we try to find a way to override it or detach from it, pretend it isn't there, inflate ourselves to think we're better than it, or shrink ourselves to get underneath it. But rarely do we just look at it and go, all right, psychic, wait. What are you? Why are you here? What are you here to teach me? And that's easier said than done, because for all of us, whatever that is, it's very unique. And we all have to be honest about what it is for ourselves. I've had a lot of students when I've done counselings and in classes, they'll stand up and ask me a question or wherever over Zoom, and they'll weave this incredible story for me that's so complicated and has so many moving parts. And they're actually unconsciously doing that to override what actually hurts. Usually what it is something very simple that could be brought down to one sentence, to one image, to one memory. And we weave all of these complicated stories around it so that we don't have to just feel it and experience it. Yeah. So as you're sitting here, maybe you wrote something down, maybe you noticed what emotion or energy came up as you wrote it down or just thought about it. And that in and of itself starts to crack the door open a little bit more. So let's crack the door open. Let's have some amusement as we do it. And let's do it as explorers. It's like you're just exploring energy. And so when the Buddha was teaching about suffering and overcoming suffering and the Four Noble Truths, kind of laying out just very simple teaching, very profound, very, very wise, that everything in life is impermanent, right? Everyone gets old, everyone gets sick, everyone dies. That is the foundation of Buddhist teachings. And here we are with a pandemic where some people, that is being accelerated. And so we all are taking a step back and are forced to be isolated, going like, wow, what is this? Well, this is exactly what the Buddha was teaching us about. And this is exactly what all human beings have to deal with in their life sooner or later. And so what is that for you? It may not be being sick, it may not be dying, but what is it for you? Something in your life may be dying, something in your life may be ending, something may not feel right. You may have this wish that your life looked one way, but it looks another way. And that tension between the way your life is and the way you wish that it was is causing suffering for you. And so whatever it is, I can almost guarantee it's that, right? That there's this tension between the way your life is and the way that you wish it was. Right now, before we even go into meditation, as we're here together, say hello to that tension. Say hello to whatever that tension inside you is. And there might be anxiety that comes up around admitting this, or stress, or fear. What if you face the fact that part of your life isn't the way that you want it to be or envisioned it to be? I didn't expect myself to be alone or isolated or not able to go to work or pay the bills or whatever it happens to be. So there's tension between these two. All I want you to do is say hello to the tension. I'm not asking you to wave it away with a wand. Just say hello to that tension. And then say hello to the feeling underneath the tension. And if you want, you could start to slowly close your eyes. I tricked you into meditating before we even started. So as you start to close your eyes, say hello to the tension. It's like we're just slowly getting into the pool. Your feet are already in. So there's this tension between the way your life is and the way you want it to be. Notice that that's probably not by accident. So maybe there was a belief there inside of you that you thought that it was by accident, that it's not supposed to be this way. So you're saying to life, it's not supposed to be this way, and life is giving you this, and this is what it is. And I want you to notice the energy underneath that tension. So is there disappointment? Is there sadness? Is there resistance? Is there a tendency to detach or override? Do you go into blaming somebody for things being different than you thought they would be? Do you want to give up? And wherever you're sitting right now, you're sitting under your own Bodhi tree. So the Buddha sat under this big, beautiful Bodhi tree that held space for him. You're sitting under your own version of that. This is the life you created. That was the life he created. You had to live in the woods and starve for a while. Bring some acceptance into the life that you have created. Even if there's pain there, bring some acceptance in and let the pain start to process without avoiding it. And if you didn't hear me the first time, let the pain start to process without avoiding it. You might even see it like energy almost like move through you or unfold. You might feel that heavy psychic weight. And like that image I showed you of isolation, maybe it's like ice melting off of you. And so I'm not asking you to solve the tension between the way your life is and the way you wish it was. I'm asking you to say hello to the pain underneath that tension and just be honest with it for a moment. If there's loneliness, just say hello to the loneliness. If there's uncertainty, say hello to the uncertainty. Same goes for fear. Whatever you notice, you might even feel the heaviness. Feel that heaviness. And if tears need to come out, let them. You might even start to notice that what you're upset about might not even be what you think you've been upset about. Maybe there are pockets of energy that you didn't process for long periods of time that kind of bubble to the surface. That may or may not have anything to do with your current situation. You thought you were feeling this way because of your current situation, but perhaps there was energy there already. Notice that you have created this life for yourself so you can be here right now in meditation and feel this energy. Even if it has a negative tone. When the Buddha started teaching about suffering, he didn't say, I'm going to teach you how not to die eventually. He said, I'm going to teach you how to live. And so to live, we have to be honest with how we feel. Otherwise, we're not really alive. Not how we think we should feel or how the Buddha thinks we should feel or how we want other people to see us. I always have it together. I'm happy. Just how we actually feel. There's an innate intelligence inside of you that really understands this process. And then I want you to take it a little further. It's like you lightly press on the gas pedal. Just take this feeling to its natural conclusion here. What is it that you're trying to reconcile? Why did you create this life and this scenario and draw in this feeling? What is it teaching you? Notice that there is a light at the end of this tunnel here. So if you're experiencing heartbreak, maybe it's teaching you about love. If you're experiencing loss, maybe it's teaching you about gratitude and depth of life. If you're experiencing fear, maybe it's teaching you about courage, about who you really are, about what's important. If you're angry, maybe it's teaching you about compassion. If you're in resistance, maybe it's teaching you about acceptance. And it's no coincidence you're feeling something that you maybe don't enjoy feeling. But take the label off that you don't enjoy feeling it. Just feel it without any label. And then start to recognize the gold inside of it. I don't think any being has ever found enlightenment without being alone. It's a necessary component of going inwards into solitude and finding out who you are. So if you're feeling isolation, feeling aloneness or loneliness, and you can't create on the outside right now, then look at this incredible opportunity to work on yourself. And if one day life graces you with a partner or with new friends or seeing everyone again, then you're going to be more yourself. You're going to be deeper. You can have more to offer. Put a light smile on your face. Deep inside many of us, there's this programming that life is about succeeding, about winning. Here you start recognizing that all success eventually turns to failure. Perhaps failure eventually turns to success. But deeper than that, life is about experiencing. Real meditation is when you almost fail into this moment. You let yourself fail. You surrender into how you feel, into this moment. Stop trying to win with yourself. You can't beat yourself at the game of life. But you can definitely die trying. It's up to you. Just one more layer of energy. Let it just come out of you that's ready to go. And as that happens, you just lightly notice your energy starts to shift. You're starting to shift out of the tension as you accept your life the way it is and take responsibility for it, that you've created it. It looks like it's been created from the outside in, but you've created it from the inside out. And the cool part about that is that you can heal yourself and continue to recreate it inch by inch, relationship by relationship, decision by decision, but doing it out of an awareness, out of a groundedness in your being, not out of fear or anxiety. Are you making your decisions out of a reaction, or are you making them out of a deep place in your being that's really tethered to the truth? And so we are both human and being. In meditation, we touch that being place in us. And when we open our eyes and go back into the world, we're in that human part of ourselves. But they go together. A human without any being is just a walking program without awareness. And a being without a body, without a human form, has no way to express itself into the world. And the human and the being come together right in the center of your chest, right in the heart center. This is the seat of the soul. Let that space just expand. Let that place in you start to just open. You individually are getting a great lesson on how to deal with isolation, how to understand solitude. This is a great gift on many levels. And so is humanity. Take a big, deep breath in, nice breath of gratitude, and an easy sigh out. And recognize that that line between the way the world in your life is and the way you wish it was starts to dissipate. You recognize the way the world is the way it is. My life is what it is. It's not the story I put on top of it. And at the same time, as my being starts to awaken, I can shift it, but not from a place of tension and resistance, but from a place of connectedness and understanding. So, whatever you're called to do it with your entire being. Quit holding yourself back, hiding from the world, waiting for someone else to do it for you, or fix you, or heal you, waiting for the politicians or whoever else to make everything right. Just start recognizing that you're generating this reality from the inside out. And make a commitment here before you open your eyes that when you get hit with a wave of emotion or isolation, whatever it is, that you're going to use it to your benefit, even if it happens to you 1,000 times a day. Asking yourself, oh, why did I create this? What am I learning? And I can't promise that the future will be just bright and rosy, but if you anchor yourself in awareness, you're going to be able to handle it and accept it, manage it much better, and find peace and happiness even when there's rough weather outside. Great work. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and stretch. If you went really far, bring yourself back. Just notice that you've got this amazing intelligence inside of you. When you get still, when you close your eyes and you stop for a moment, it starts to understand what your mind hasn't been able to understand. How can the world be different than the way I want it to be? How can my life be different than the way I want it to be? The mind just chews on that and wants to solve it. Just chews on it. That's not the part of you that's going to solve it. It's counterintuitive. You bring acceptance into what seems unsolvable, into what you seem you can't accept. And then there's this shift of energy. And then afterwards, the path may become more clear. Everybody wants the answers before they do the work. It's a natural human tendency. David, just tell me what it is, and then I'll take that and I'll go on my way. There is no answer before you do the work. And even on a global scale for humanity, if we don't learn our lessons from this experience, we'll just recreate it again in a different way. Next time it'll be a comet or a war or something else. So we have to learn these lessons from the inside out. That's how the energy on the planet starts to shift. And all the people complaining, I hate isolation, send me back to work. They're gonna go back and their third day at work, they're gonna be like, damn, I wish I was in isolation. There was something peaceful about that, and vice versa. So it's not the situation, it's you. um, Thank you all so much for being with me here today. As always, there is meditation school class this Wednesday night. If you're in meditation school with me, we'll be doing some good work there. And I am happy to stick around for a few minutes. If any of you have any questions or anything you want to share, just write it in the box or you raise your hand. Grateful for all of you as well. Yeah, really, really beautiful doing these Sunday meditations. I don't know if I'm gonna do them every week. Kind of on Saturday, I just wake up and decide should I do one tomorrow, and that's how it's been going. So we'll see. Um, good, good. All right. No questions, just a lot of gratitude. Well, thank you all. Thank you. Let's unmute everyone so you could all just say goodbye. I think there was one question, but it popped up. Yeah, unmute everyone. Say bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
David.
Thank you so
Thank you,
Hello.
David.
Bye.
It's a pleasure being
Bye.
with you all.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon.
Thank you so much.
So
Bye,
much.
everyone.
you.
Take
Thank
care.
you so much.
Be well, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye.
so
Get off
much.
the
Bye,
call.
David.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy birthday to your
Everyone,
mom.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mom. There she is. I heard you.
Happy birthday, mom.
Happy
Good
birthday,
Happy
Mom.
birthday. Happy birthday to your mom. Day.
Oh, so sweet.
We celebrated on Zoom. It was really nice.
Aw.
All right, everyone. Take care. I'll send the replay out of this soon.
Thanks, David.
Listen again if you
Thank
like.
you, Dave.